All right, I want to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah, Bashem Kakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostle of GMS over as well, that we learn from. And peace, blessings, salutations to Yakim, Yakwa tuning in, and the Israelite foreigners that are scattered. Again, this is Shukar Karab from GMS, Virginia. And I want to do, just a quick lesson before I go into the field, the plantation. And was watching Elder Yashawan's video that the elder not I believe uploaded. Well, he has it on his page. I was watching a few of it, and it's been a core group in plan agenda, strategic plans to destroy men, but ultimately the men of Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans. And it's been an agenda, because first, you can't have really strong men. Pretty much what's going on is they need the men that's out here pretty much to just be a bitch and willing and pretty much a workhorse. But the men that you don't see, the elites, the top bankers, the ones that's really, the men that's really, these Edomites, so-called white men that's really in control, which is destroying the earth and want power and, is bringing forth evil on the left-hand side, satanic vibration, and want the agenda to chip everybody. But nobody can see. Pretty much all you see is, Creepy Joe that's in the White House, and the governments and officials and state legislators and the men that's in people that rule the Supreme Court. That's the faces that you see. You don't really see the top Edomites that's ruling the wickedness. And there's a reason why you don't see them, because in secrecy there's nobody to blame. But you can but what they do, they cause a lot of action and problems and frictions and war between the everyday people that you see. So you got so much shit that's in front of you that you really can't see the large picture. And that's what's going on, because they need pretty much the everyday man that you see every day to really look like scum. But ultimately they need the so-called black Latino man to be weak. So being such a devil that Esau is, he's willing to take out his own and other men just to get to the cream of the crop, which are the Israelite men. And it says, this is Mark 3:27. Then I got an article I'm going to bring forth, but it says, Mark 3:27, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. And what's the house? We are the house of Israel. So the 12 tribes, so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native American, Slocky. Why my eyes are bothering me. And the agenda has been set to destroy you, because what? We are going to be the next rulers on the earth when Yahweh Shah comes back to destroy the so-called white man, because he's the only one that's going to be able to destroy this white man. Because first and foremost, he's the only one that has the power. He's actually the only one that knows where they're at. You can't wage war on a man that you don't know where he is. Even if you went to the White House and you had the best plan in the world to destroy Biden, and anybody blew up the White House or whatever, that's not gonna do nothing goddamn thing, because the elites are not in the White House. So you don't know where they're at to wage war on them. So that's why we have to wait on Yahweh Shah, because he sees all. He knows exactly where they're at. He knows even if they go into the clefts of the rocks or into the bottom of the sea, Yahweh knows where they're at, and they can't hide. And forces and the power of Yahweh Shah, they can't be reckoned with. So they can go anywhere. you know. This is the article I have. Beautiful article. It says there's a war on one gender, and came out in August 3, 2018 by Adriana Cohen. It says forget the mythical war on women, because society will have you think that there's this big war on women. Women are being mistreated, beat up, raped. They ain't had no equality. Man, if women really knew the power of submission, wouldn't, man, it's crazy. But it says forget the mythical war on women. What we're really seeing in American culture is a growing war on men. There's a big slocky. There's a bias. My screen is cracked, so I gotta read it a certain way. It says there's a bias against men that seeks to demean, devalue, and ultimately emasculate normal, healthy men and boys in virtually all aspects of life. I'm again speaking to the brother Gabar Yahweh. Me and him was talking about that. If you here in America as a man, yo, it's so crazy because when you talk to these women here in America, you can really they really don't give a fuck about you. Unless they like really like you. You got some spark to them that they seeing you. These everyday women are not. They just look at you as just a fucking person. Not even as a person. You're less than an animal to them. And again, if you're not here in America, if you are not kicking out no bread, making this bitch feel like she's sweet and pudding, the best thing, something that's floating, levitating, you women don't give a fuck about you. You got fat bitches that sit there and just talk to you and just say, basically just destroy your ego. It just make it seem like you're a nobody, you know. And you got to the fattest ones and to the skinniest ones. I'm talking about the skinny ones that look malnourished. They would just look at you as just a nobody, and that fucks with our ego, and that can really. And I'm telling you, like the shit that you know men go through, it reads on. But it's all good because we're going to win at the end. Us men, especially these men that's in the truth, that has that leans upon Yahweh Shem Shah, we're going to win. So it's nothing to really worry about. I know it's hard, um, living here in America because there's so much. Our ego is constantly being broken down, and we're constantly being destroyed mentally and physically. But it says the U.S. educational and legal systems, the workplace is that, and this is all everywhere, every form of aspect you see. Again, just like for instance, all it takes is you being a group of men and a woman to come up and sit there, and what will she do? Y'all are sexist. Y'all are sexist. You know, and she come in with that shaming tactics, and that and a woman ought to know her fucking place, but these women don't know their place, and they're so quick to just say something out their mouth as shaming that it's unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy because a woman, you can be a group of men that just like to body build, and you deny, and it's here this chick, she wants to come work out with y'all, and you deny her. That bitch can say y'all raped her, and then all hell will break loose. And it even goes in to say that. So it's crazy. The shit that we have to deal with, and if we get assumed and ridiculed for something, we can. I'm trying to tell you, man. Dealing with these women here in America, you can lose it all on the brink of nothing, just in the brink of a second. But it says A woman can call the cops right now, throw herself against the wall and say you hit her, and the cops will come on a warring, raging tip. You know, it says the U.S. with educational and legal systems, the workplace, pop culture, and even modern day families, and you have the radical left and feminists to think. That's why men are not having kids. That's why men are not taking these women serious. That's why men, even in the workplace, they're not talking to these women. And it's sad to say that, and it's sad to even see this because, again, living here in America is so, yo, just to have a conversation with a chick is like, yo, because I realized that because one thing I go through personally here living in Virginia, when I go to like the grocery stores, I pretty much have when I go into the line, I'm gonna be honest with you, I pretty much be to myself. I really, when I go out, I really be very circumspect. I really don't be talking to people, so I keep my words very limited. I'm not saying I'm not a, what do you say? I forgot the word. I'm very social. I'm a very social person, very charismatic. But when I go out, I don't really talk to people. And basically what I'm trying to say is when I go into like lines, grocery store, and it be like women, it's mainly a lot of times the so-called black women, and even the Latino women, you know, I go in the line, and they really don't even speak to me. You know, maybe they say hey, and I be like, how you doing? And I say it like very like stern, and then it's like they don't say nothing else. And then when you're done paying, they give you a receipt. A lot of Edomite women, they say, okay, you have a nice day. Da 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 da. The nigger woman or the fucking the Latino woman, I don't like them neither. Me man, yo, they're through here. They're basically they don't say nothing to me. They just hand me the receipt and give me some type of look, some evil look. But pretty much, I realized like, yo, the reason why they treat me like that is because, they act like that because you're not validating them. You're not kissing their ass. And that's pretty much what the output here in America is. If a man is not kissing that woman's ass, he's against you. He's a nobody. He's dead to me. And that's pretty much the reality over here in America. So pretty much, like I said, if you're not entertaining, monkey dancing, back flipping, front flipping, jumping all in the mud, jumping on the ground, pretty much like I've been really wanting to catch some segments of the Disney Channel and these little cartoon narrative scripts that they have actual people playing. And when you look at these little boys and these men, even the men that's in these TV shows, is demasculating, very feminine. They're jumping all around. They, you know, that's not what a man. And when I catch it, like I see these little kids. If I happen to come across a household or where kids is at, and they got their little TV show for the kids, and I see these boys that's on television, I'm like, yo, that's not how a boy ought to act. That's not how a man. So pretty much the whole output on a man is just a monkey, a joke. And then they have the women. They're so intelligent, they're smart, they're brave. And even at a young form, they pretty much they talking to men like they're stupid, you know. But yeah, it's like for the rent, but yeah, and you have the radical left and feminists to think under the banner of champion championing women's rights and female equality. Effectively for decades, they also have been waging jihad against their male counterparts. Now, again, this starts at a young age, making men look like clowns, buffoonery, if I'm not saying it right. Pretty much making a man look like they're jokes and they're nobodies. So like I said, at a young age, kids taking a lot. That's why I try to tell people, you really don't really need to be allowing your kids to watch fucking TV at a young age, because and another thing, the notion I've realized, kids aren't outside anymore. They're not really. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If you really wanted to piss me the fuck off, you know, like the worst thing to me was it's time to come in the house. You know, punishment or still had to that was like one of the worst things you would ever fucking tell me growing up as a kid. I had a nickname. They used to call me Mowgli, Nature Boy. So I used to love outside. Man, fuck being in the house, man. So I tell people that got kids like, yo, like, yo, why is everybody so scared? Like, allow their kids to go outside? It's like, damn, like. This shit is crazy. I mean, I know it's like, the world is getting evil, so to speak, but you know, allowing your kids to take in that filth on TV, that it really hinders them. It really destroys you, because it's really an agenda to destroy men and evaluate women. There's no balance, and it's again, and that gay shit is just it's getting unbelievable. And what they're another thing, like they're really showing gay men on TV. But Salaki, take public education. It's no secret that the American public K kindergarten through 12th grade school system, in an effort to empower its female students. That's true. Everything is for empowering women, females, and to destroy men. Only a man with a strong mind will survive. Is now predominantly teaching to girls versus providing curricula and atmospheres that educate, support, and empower all students equally. Me personally, I fucking hated school. It wasn't really, I'm gonna be honest with you, that shit wasn't for me. Of course, education officials won't admit to any form of bias, intentional or otherwise, as gender discrimination is illegal. But all you have to do is look at college enrollment data and judge for yourself. Me personally, because what was going on in my situation, that shit wasn't, school was not teaching me nothing what was really going on in reality. And now, at a young age, I had to go through reality starting at a young age. And pretty much, me personally, I think men should learn a trade. All men should have a trade and learn skills, opposed to, taking your ass to college. Because a skill and a trade is not something that it can never be taken from you. And I'm gonna tell you something, dude. During this pandemic, only the men that had trades and skill prevailed. It says where the hell was I? Yeah, of course, education officials won't admit to any form of bias, intentional or otherwise, as gender discrimination is illegal. But all you have to do is look at college enrollment data and judge for yourself. Today, there are millions more women enrolled in colleges and universities than men. In 2017, there were 2.2 million fewer men enrolled in higher education than women, according to the U.S. Department of Education. Female students now constitute over 56% of college enrollment nationwide, a trend with no sign of abating. that is putting men at a great financial disadvantage as college graduates earn 56% more than those with just high school diplomas. The war on men doesn't stop there. Turn on any sitcom or Hollywood movie and you'll easily find male characters routinely, this is what I was talking about, routinely mocked and marginalized. While single moms, I wish I had time to, matter of fact, let me just do it, fuck it. Definition of marginalized. See that? Marginalized of a person, group, or concept, and we're talking about men here, treated as insignificant or peripheral. So basically, you're treated as a nobody. Let me look at this one too. Yeah. Definition marginalized to relegate to an unimportant or powerless position within a society or group. Yeah, right. And then see that the first thing it says they're trying to marginalize women, but that's the definition. Damn it. Yeah. So yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Alright, Shalaki. Turn on any sitcom or Hollywood movie and you'll easily find male characters routinely mocked and marginalized. While single moms, get this, while single moms and other women are presented throughout American pop culture as smarter, stronger, and more sophisticated than men, portraying the false notion that having a man around, even a father, is an unnecessary life accessory. Nothing could be further from the truth or more harmful to children and society as a whole. Why? Because it's an imbalance. And when children don't grow up with a father, a strong father at that, it fucks them up harmfully in throughout the long run. And it says, as the largest demographic living in poverty in America today is single mom households. Want to reduce gang violence in Chicago? Boys falling behind in school, men and boys getting on drugs or having entanglements with the law. And that's all due to wanting the fucking mother ruling the house. Because if there was two parents in every home providing loving guidance, because, the woman got this notion, I'm feeding him, I'm clothing him, and I'm housing him. That don't mean shit. You can do that to a fucking animal. That don't mean shit, It takes more than that. And these women don't fucking understand that. But women say that so they can have bragging rights and make it seem like they're somebody. But that's, it says in dual incomes, we see less poverty and lower male incarceration rates. But feminists don't want to talk about that. Instead, they lead young women astray by telling them that they don't need a man to have a child or family with fertility options available today. Yeah, so pretty much a woman, she can start off when she's like 15, 14, whatever, until she's about 35. And then when she's about 35, she knows her fertility options go down. So that's when she's unlocking a man. But by then she has 1,000 bodies, meaning men. She's done fucked about 1,000 men. And I'm going to just sit that number right there. With fertility options available today, that's technically true, but missing from the politically correct cultural brainwashing, of course, is the grand overall cause. The war on men has also infiltrated the U.S. legal system. The Me Too movement is tilting the levers of justice against men by demanding that women who make sexual harassment and sex abuse allegations against men be automatically believed before a legitimate investigation takes place. So instead of adhering to the notion that all citizens are innocent until proven guilty, feminists and powerful women in American society are convicting men in a court of public opinion at the workplace, on college campuses, and beyond before vetting the facts and evidence. I gotta hurry up. A terrifying scenario indeed of 2017. But matter of fact, I'm gonna just y'all can read it for yourself. Y'all can pause it. And that's that. I gotta get up from up here. But yeah, Lord willing, I was edified. You know, there's a war going on men, and I got brought out in Mark of 3:27. And I'm ending with that. Shalom.